All right, Nick, the Green Bay Packers are in a very interesting situation. The Packers, most notably, kind of need help at the safety position. And with the moves being made around the NFL lately, I think the Packers have been set up beautifully to have their pick of the litter. And this article kind of lays it all out. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about what is going on for the Packers on the other side. This, of course, is from over on Yahoo Sports. It says, it's not a good offseason to be a veteran safety. NFL teams are increasingly deciding that expensive safeties aren't worth the money, and several safeties with lucrative contracts have been cut already this offseason. With 6 more days until the start of the 2024 league year, the total 2024 cash the NFL teams have saved been cutting safeties so far this offseason is $103.25 million. According to Nick Corte of OverTheCap.com, among the teams getting rid of safeties to improve their salary cap situation are the Broncos saving $14.5 million, cutting Justin Simmons, Eagles $13.7 million by cutting Kevin Byard, Seahawks $17 million total by cutting Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, and the Bills are saving $5.7 million by cutting Jordan Poyer. What that says to me, Nick, is there's a lot of good safeties on the market. So, if you're a team that needs to get rid of a safety, you cut a safety. That's all well and good. But if you're a team that needs a safety, this sounds pretty good to you as well. And that is the Green Bay Packers. Here's what your thoughts are on this one, Nick. But Packers fans, in the comment section below, obviously we just said it. There are a lot of safeties on the market. Who are you interested in coming to the Green Bay Packers? Who would be the best fit for this team? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But Nick, what do you think this all means for the Packers?
Well, it means the Packers set themselves up absolutely perfectly, and give a lot of credit to the Packers front office. I mean, they do a lot of really smart things. They don't get as much credit as some other franchises for doing things really intelligent for their long-term planning, for seeing where the NFL is going directionally and heading that way, kind of heading it off at the pass. I think their unique structure, the fact that they are a corporate entity, not with the owner, where you got one guy in charge and his kids are involved and stuff like that. They have their CEO, COO, right? They have that entire corporate structure. I think that allows them the opportunity to think more long term. We saw it with, of course, the Aaron Rodgers draft pick, and then, of course, later the Jordan Love draft pick. And I think this is another example of this, right? I don't think it's an accident that the Packers come into this offseason needing a veteran safety. And then lo and behold, there's a million veteran safeties on the board right here available for the Packers. And again, it's great economics for Green Bay, right? The supply is absolutely massive. That's going to drop the price down if they want any of these veteran guys. And they get their pick of the litter at this point, stylistically, age, experience, however they want to go about it. They're going to be able to address the safety problem easily in spades. And especially when you look at the Packers cap situation, which isn't terrible by any means. They're currently set about $13 million under the cap. There's a lot more they could do to get that number lower. Of course, the Bakhtiari situation is outstanding. There's a lot of other things that will have to be resolved across the roster. But the Packers are in a strong position anyway. And then when you factor in their biggest position of need is now the strongest economic position a team, not a player, can be in to address that position. I mean, you got to give the front office so much credit. And again, this stuff doesn't happen by accident. People will sit there and say, oh, this is luck. Trust me, I work in corporate America. I've worked in corporate America my entire professional life. There has never been anything that corporate America anticipates that's luck. It's all just really smart leadership or dumb leadership. It's either or. There is no luck. The iPhone wasn't luck. Tesla's not luck. Amazon wasn't luck. Whereas the bus, right, the issues, the 737 MAX crashing for Boeing, that wasn't bad luck. That was bad leadership, right? This is an example, not of luck, but of good leadership by the Green Bay Packers. And I think we're going to see a lot more of these kind of situations going forward from Green Bay. And I hope finally we'll see a lot more recognition from the media with how the Packers always seem to be ahead of the curve. I think they may just be smarter than a lot of their competition, and they seem to prove it year after year.
Yeah, and if I think, like you said, luck isn't really the factor here. It's planning and it's good roster construction, planning above the curve to have a strong roster. As you look at what Green Bay has, they have a lot of great players that aren't safeties on their defense. They have Rashawn Gary, great player. Kenny Clark, great player. Luca Van Ness and Carl Brooks, 2 young players, very good. Preston Smith, good player. They have an elite corner in Jair Alexander, great player. 2 young linebacker in Quay Walker, who could be a very good player. They have Devondre Campbell, another great player. What do they not have? Like you said, safeties. So they really haven't spent a lot of assets maybe this was a foreboding thing they saw coming. There's a lot of overspending on the safety position, allowing them to potentially grab one of these guys in the future for a great price. They didn't spend top dollar on safety, they didn't spend high draft picks, and now they know they're able to pick up a great safety in free agency. It's like you said, it's all planning, it's all roster construction, it's all thinking ahead of the curve. And the Green Bay Packers seem to have done this beautifully and set themselves up for a great offseason.
And let me explain a little bit more how you can see this ahead of time and how great organizations are doing this like the Packers. And frankly, we all should have. Because it's been about, how long has it been, Miles? 3, 4, 5 years for the safety position. Used to be a team where people would spend 3, 4 first rounders every year. Now there's maybe one, right? Safeties aren't getting drafted high, but you obviously are still playing two safeties, right? So there's got to be some allocation of resources to acquire safeties that has been now transferred from the draft. We're not using first round picks on safeties anymore. We're going to have to go out and sign veterans. So there's been an overabundance of veterans. And if you're the Packers, you know that. You see this 3 years ago, and you're like, okay, there's going to be a course correct. People are overspending on safeties. That asset's getting overvalued. They're going to have to correct. That market's going to dip. It's going to become undervalued, and we're going to set it up so that way we're going to be able to take advantage of that. Again, this isn't luck. This is skill. The Packers deserve a lot of credit for things like this. And I think Green Bay fans, obviously, you should be excited with Jordan Love, should be excited with LaFleur, a lot of the young guys. But I think it's the leadership at the top of this organization that is proving itself time and time again to being head and shoulders over the majority of its competition.